Well, hello everyone. Today is Saturday, and it actually is Saturday today, as opposed to the last couple of videos that we have been recording after the fact, because it's been a rough few days. And I guess that's the thing with any sort of health journey, especially weight loss, and especially if that weight loss that we are trying to do is happening because we've been struggling, especially with some mental health issues. And so, if that's you, then, I understand. I understand it's difficult. We've had a difficult time. And the last few days really have been tricky. And so, as I've been talking about for the last few videos, it's almost like it feels like if you won't give in to the urges or the compulsive behavior, then it's like this bratty person saying, well, then I'm going to fuck up your entire day, and just your mood is, just being in a foul mood and just being really cranky and angry. And so that's sort of been me for the last few days, so much so that I wasn't even able to do the videos. I mean, I knew that I would come back to do them, but in the day, it just felt really difficult to be able to pull the trigger and really accomplish anything. These have been very unproductive days. And these are going to happen. And sometimes we just need to take a day or two like that. I mean, I know that it is a privilege if you're able to take a day or two. Actually, a lot of people don't have that luxury. But, just know that it is rough. And that is, I still don't know, what we can do. We keep working at it. We keep trying to figure out what this is from a psychological perspective, but it's still hard. It's still very difficult. So today's going to be a little bit tricky because we're still in the middle of the Copa America, which is that soccer tournament that's actually being played in the U.S. right now. But there's a soccer match tonight. The Colombia's playing against Panama, I think. Anyway, and I don't know if you guys know this, but my girlfriend loves to entertain. I mean, she loves it. I like it too, but it's really important to her. And so we're having people over, and we're making a Colombian soup called sancocho, which is basically like a very hearty soup. It's got a lot of root vegetables and stuff, and beef ribs, and just like one of those really hearty soups. And so it's going to be a little tricky for me to measure exactly the macros and stuff. And that's also something that I haven't really been doing for the last couple of days. It hasn't been bad. My the meals that I've had haven't been bad. And like I said, I was feeling so out of it that I didn't even want to film it, or the mere thought of just having to show you guys, even though the meals weren't cheating at all, just the idea of having to do it felt like I just want to fucking cry. So I didn't do it, but it wasn't really that bad. Let's see if I can go backwards. Yesterday we had, for dinner, it was one arepa, which is, it's one of those corn cakes it is carby, but it's not horrible. And then we had a mixture of just Jolima boiled some chicken, and it was some basically shredded chicken with a little bit of olive oil, avocado, and a little bit of mayo. So overall pretty good. And then I actually made ramen for lunch. And other than the actual pasta for the ramen, it was actually, it's pretty decent in terms of, it's got really nice bone broth that I make from scratch. And I bought some pork belly, and I also made that from scratch. So not a lot of additives that could be bad, or like they could be, like it's still a decently clean meal, other than the pasta, obviously. And then I guess on Thursday we had some like chicken with vegetables, still some of the leftover chicken and vegetables that we had. But again, added some rice. So it's been, I guess, I am still within the allowance, the carb allowance that I get from Lumen, which is the little device that I use to measure my metabolism. And it basically tells me what I should be eating. And I am still within the margins of the carbs that I should be eating from Lumen. But they are instead of them being in the form of something else, they're in the form of rice, and it was mostly rice, actually. It's really most of what it is. And some fruit. On Thursday, I think Thursday lunch, I had some grapes, and I think I had more grapes than I really needed to. It was that, like, I'm feeling really shitty. I really want this. Because I've been fighting all day the urge to, like, go and get some, I don't know. Like, go to the cafe in the corner and get the pastries, the really sweet pastries, and, like, all the stuff that sort of hits scratches the sugar itch. And so I indulged in some grapes. Maybe I had more than I needed to. So, like, that was a little impulsive, I guess. But for the most part, it's not like I've had a terrible diet. It's not like I've given in and gone to, like, McDonald's to binge. So in that way, it hasn't been bad, but it just mentally, it's been disastrous. Because on the one hand, I'm not really giving in to the monster and silencing it by giving it what it wants. But then at the same time, it's not like I'm eating like a really clean diet, and I can at least be proud of that. Because the monster's still there saying, like, well, you're still eating poorly, you're still eating rice, you shouldn't be eating that. Even though for the most part it's a much more nutritious meal in every way. And there weren't really any highly processed foods or anything. And so in that way, it should be seen as a small victory, but it didn't really feel that way, and it hasn't really felt that way. And so that's one of the things that makes it really difficult, really, really difficult in situations like this, which we keep trying to figure out what to do or how to continue to move forward. I wish there was something, more concrete and better that I could tell you that, just do this or just do that, and, we're doing this, we're doing that. But the reality is that there isn't a fucking magic pill. It doesn't matter what anyone tells you. There isn't. It takes a lot of work. And it's probably different for everyone. So that's very tricky, because it can feel sometimes like you might never be successful. And that's certainly what it feels like for me, what it's felt like for the last few days. And interestingly enough, my weight is actually up this week. My average weight, I don't know if, what it'll end up being, because we still have one more day, I guess, but I doubt it. I doubt that it'll be able to bring it down. So we're a little behind on our progress for what we're trying to do. And also for the first time this week, over the last, I don't know how many weeks, 7 weeks, we're actually going to be up our weight. Instead of losing the weight that we needed to lose, we're actually up. And even though I know that's part of the process, plateaus are part of the process, or even a little bit of weight gain is part of the process, it really feels crappy. And especially when you're feeling this way, when you're feeling this discouraged by the process, by everything, and your brain isn't playing nice and it's giving you a lot of shit because you're not giving it what it wants, and it's acting like a bratty child. It's just... if you had something else to hold on to, like, oh, well, at least my weight is doing really well this week, like, that would probably be a little nudge in the right direction, make you feel a little bit better. But it isn't right now, and so, that also sucks a little bit. So I think for today, really all we have is to try to disconnect from this a little bit. Maybe not harp on the fact that I don't feel like things are going really well for me this week in terms of my health and weight loss. Actually, there's, I guess, one silver lining, or what, I don't know if that's a silver lining. One positive thing is that my blood pressure is really good. I think that for the first time this week, my blood pressure is not even slightly elevated, but in a perfectly normal range. I think the average is like 116 over 70 something. So at least there's that, which is really good. But I guess for the rest of the day, again, yes, this meal that we're going to be having today is a little carbier than perhaps we should, although I don't know. I mean, according to Lumen, I have a decent amount of carbs, so I might not even meet those carbs by having this, but it's still a fair, pretty natural meal, I guess. There's a lot of whole foods, vegetables, and there's going to be some potatoes and stuff in the soup, but again, it's not highly processed food, so I'm going to focus on that and try to enjoy the company and and maybe disconnect from this a little bit. We're still keeping track of most things. We'll have to estimate some others, but for the most part, we're keeping track of what's going on so that we can take a look on Monday and see what the metrics, what the measurements, the metrics for this week look like, even though they might not look great. It's all part of the process. So we'll leave it at that for today. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you again for hanging in. If it's hard, just hang in there. I know this is really annoying. It's really annoying to feel like, how many times do I have to go through the same thing? It feels like a broken record, and it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for me to talk to you guys about this. So if you feel embarrassed to be complaining and talking about the same things with your person, with your significant other or your family or whoever, and you feel ashamed and you feel embarrassed to be talking about the same things over and over again, and it is okay to feel that way. I feel that way now. I feel this way, and I know that there are going to be people in the comments making nasty comments about how I sound like a broken record. I'm just a pussy. Should just man up. And I understand it. And there's really not much we can do about that. Just keep going. All right. See you guys tomorrow.